Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Wanted to pop in real quick with a Sunday sermon. Meant to film a video earlier today, but was up late last night. Went to a basketball game to support one of my mentees. He ended up having a false positive on the test and did not end up playing, but I had already got the ticket, so I had to go ahead and go. And was up last night, just now taking down Christmas stuff. And it's something I wanted to talk to you about, because today I got my mentee driving the Sprinter, taking my wife and her friend to the NBA game, and I'll be teaching a master class tonight. I call it master class, could be called Sunday school, whatever. It's just a power hour. It's a session where we're going to be talking about self-love and boundaries. And so if you haven't signed up for it, it's on TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. But it's something I want to talk to you about. Sometimes I don't know if it's, I rebuke CTE, which is, what football players and boxers get from head trauma. Me playing football in college and being on the scout team my first year in college, a lot of hits to the head. And sometimes I rebuke that. But one of the things I recognize and realize is spiritual warfare. And when I'm going through spiritual warfare, I'm like, man, is this my brain? Or this spiritual warfare? And I know it's spiritual warfare. And as I was talking to some other men, we all go through spiritual warfare, men and women, and it hits us at different times, and it's always working against what we're working for, working against what we're working toward. So you got to be mindful that you're going to be attacked in your life in different ways. It's going to come in different ways. It's going to be in different forms, and it's going to be, sometimes it's going to be people. And you got to get to a place to where you can overcome. Because a lot of times you'll self-sabotage because you're trying to react to the people around you. So you may be going through something mentally, and you may read into things with your friends or your family, and it may not be what you think it is. And then you say, well, I'm going to act like this, I'm going to act like that. And then you send yourself into a place of isolation. You send yourself into a place of distraction, destruction. And you don't even realize it because you're warring spiritually. So you think this person cheating on you. You think this person talking bad about you. You think this person don't like you. And you going through this and you warring in your spirit. You struggling. And one of the things you got to realize is that you're going to go through, especially when you're trying to get to. When you're trying to live right and you're trying to do the right thing, you're going to face things. You're going to go through things. When you're trying to be a better person, you're going to go through some things. And that's the way the adversary works. Whenever you commit to doing what's right, everything goes wrong. And when I say everything goes wrong, is you're going to go through. You're going to be tested and tried. And I recall, I said, oh, okay, I see. It's times where you're going to have a feast. And if you get too comfortable in that feast, if you remember when Joseph became second in command, and he interpreted the dream for the king. And he told the king, okay, what this dream means is you finna have 7 years of plenty, 7 years of feast, and then you're gonna have 7 years of famine. And what God told him is, when you go through this here abundance, make sure you take a portion of it I can't remember the portion, whether it was 20%, 30%, or 10%, and you put it up. So they had way more than enough. And they put up. So then when they went through the famine and all the land was famished, Joseph had them put up so much, they still was able to divvy it out. They still was able to be a blessing. And see, a lot of times we feel like, oh, I'm under attack. I'm in spiritual warfare. When really the spiritual warfare was in your feast. The spiritual warfare wasn't in your famine. The spiritual warfare was in your feast. See, when you had a whole lot, when you got that PPP loan, when you got that unemployment check, when you got them stimulus checks, you went on the spiritual warfare and you say, oh, let me get this furniture. Oh, let me get this new car. Oh, let me get this. Oh, let me get that. Oh, let me get this. Oh, let me get this way. Let me get that away. So now you giving. And you giving to people who ain't good ground. You just giving to be given. And then you giving. And then the next thing you know, boom. The next thing you know, you get hit with the famine. You get hit with the famine and you like, oh man, what's going on? Oh, that's the famine. And so now you like, Lord, why you doing me like this, Lord? Why I'm going through? Why I'm struggling like this, Lord? And the Lord like, you're not actually struggling. You're going through normal times, but what it is you got too comfortable. You got too comfortable and you got away from yourself and you start to do the wrong thing in the good times. In the abundance, you got too comfortable. So now it feels like famine. Now I feel like famine when you're doing good. You ain't going through nothing. You ain't going through nothing at all. So I want you to think about this. Okay? Think about this. And think about how blessed you are. And think about the times that you misuse your blessings. When you squandered your blessings. Think about that. And when you get that in your spirit and you realize that, and you're able to be honest with yourself, then you start to say, you know what? The spiritual warfare is spiritual. It's in your mind. It's in your mind. It's an attack on your mental. And you got to be reminded of that. You got to be reminded of that, and you got to come to a place to where you can pray and believe and trust God for the breakthrough. I'm about to wash my Sprinter. And I got my mentee driving my wife and her friends so that my wife don't have to drive, because it's about 4 hours total of driving going to the NBA game. And so this third time in the last 2 weeks I done gave my ticket up. And the Lord saying something to me as a husband. And this for the husbands out there who go through spiritual warfare. The Lord saying something to me. The Lord saying to me, Tony, don't get caught up in this, what these men online talking about. And a woman got to do this and a woman got to do that, and the woman ain't doing this and the woman ain't doing that. Remember that I told you to love your wife as Christ loved the church. What did Christ do for the church? He sacrificed. He laid down his life. He gave, he forgave, he healed, he blessed. And he didn't ask for anything in return. The only thing he asked for in return is that you live right. Is that your salvation is secured through him with the Father. And it was a very selfless lifestyle. And what the Lord reminded me is, Tony, be selfless. Be selfless. Don't wait on your wife to hug you. Hug her. Don't wait on your wife to kiss you. Kiss her. Don't wait on your wife to compliment you. Compliment her. Don't wait on her to do. You do. You lead. You love. And don't keep score. Don't keep score. Just love her, love her, love her. And know that she loves you back. And know that she may not show it all the time the way you want her to show it. Know that she may not say it the way you want her to say it. And know that you done took her high and took her low. Know that you done remember all that you done put her through. Remember all that you done said that can't be taken back. Remember that she a human and not a God. Remember that she's not Christ, that she's a wife. Remember. And so the Lord reminded me, and the Lord calling me and telling me, Tony, keep loving. Because the devil wants you to be unhappy. The devil wants you to compare. The devil wants you to feel self-righteous. The devil wants you to get in your feelings. The devil wants you to find something to complain about when everything could be perfect. The devil wants you to find something to complain about. The devil wants you to take for granted what you have. That's what the devil wants. And he gonna attack you, and he gonna attack your wife. Sometimes he gonna attack your son. Sometimes he gonna attack your sibling, your mama, your daddy. The devil want chaos. He don't want you to be at peace. The devil want chaos. The devil wants you stressed. He wants you worried. He wants you frustrated. The devil wants you to get complacent in the abundance. He wants you to stop working. He wants you to stop serving. He wants you to stop sacrificing and doing so much. That's what the devil wants. This car just drove out the car wash filthy. I guess he just wanted to sit in the car wash and thought it'd get clean just sitting in the bay. So listen to me. Spiritual warfare is in your mind. And then sometimes it could become physical in your body. But typically it becomes physical in the body from the mind, from it festering in the mind. So understand that you're going to be tested, tempted, and tried in a lot of different ways. In a whole lot of different ways. And you can't get distracted. You can't lose sight of what you're here for, why you're here, and what the goal is. You can't lose sight of it. You got to remember what's going on in the spiritual realm, and you got to pray your way through it. And when you pray, don't just sit. Pray and work. Pray and do. Pray and be active. Get up and get going. Make something happen. So I could sit and I could, let go of one thing I'm doing and then just give up. But then the Lord said, nope, do this. So tonight I decided just a couple days ago, hey, let me do this here class. Just a 2-hour teaching for the people who they want to invest in themselves. They want to be a part of something like this, that they could sit for 2 hours and let me dive in here and let me make this here happen outside of YouTube, where it ain't just for the whole world to see. This for a remnant of people who willing to grow, who want to grow, who want to go to that next level. So hey, this Tony Gaskins, understand is that you may lose a battle, but you won't win the war, or you won't lose the war. You may lose a battle, but you won't lose the war. In the end, we win. So you got to get back up. You got to brush yourself off. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop sitting and crying and sulking and complaining and questioning God. And get up and get to work. Make something happen. Get that certification. Take that class. Lose that weight. Forgive those who have cursed you, who hurt you. Walk in love. Love yourself. Set new boundaries, healthy boundaries. And live the way you've been called to live. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon.